their regular season. Now they've got their normal jungler back. Go back to what used to work for them previously.
Yeah, so the question is, do they want to try and pick a very strong bottom lane and actually do the 2v2 fight? Or will the lane swap, as you just talked about here? First of all, Alistar being banned because Royal Club is now on the red side, which actually opens up for Maokai, so no Mundo for Freddy this time around. And the first time he can actually get a really strong pick for him.
But Rengar for Insect, we were talking about this earlier on, and we were like, do you ban Lee Sin or do you ban Rengar? SK decided to leave both open, and Rengar and Insect together have been an incredible force.
So the reason they actually didn't ban any of the junglers here is because they were looking for something like a Maokai first pick, and if they had banned Lee Sin and there had been a Rengar pickup here for Royal Club, what would Svensson play into the Rengar? We have seen Rengar against amazing on Elise, and that backfired completely, had no pressure. SK Gaming wants to secure Lee Sin. They can of course wait with picking it right now, but that's why they actually both jungles open.
And so now it's up to them, since they've decided to give away this Rengar, once again, that has punished so many teams, it's up to them to play around it. You have to get those deep wards, you have to play back, you have to be ready for the exclamation point when it pops up, because the range is now increased on it, but Insect always rushes mobility boots, so that even though the range is increased, he still has the move speed to get in there. You know he's coming, you're still going to get hit.
And this Orianna pickup as well for Royal Club is so important. We know Cola loves to play it, and they love to have this like wave clear mid lane who is still very strong in team fights.
Corn.
And can react very fast. Yeah, oh sorry, Corn, not Cola in the mid lane, Corn in the mid lane. And at the same time, you take it away from Justice, who is a very big Orianna player, so he's not going to have the safe lane right now. He's going to have Ari instead, where he needs to get picks, he needs to get proper vision control with his team in the mid game, so he can get rolling on this Ari pick. Okay. We now know why Rengar was left open.
Yeah.
The famous Kayle support for Enrated right here. We have seen it a few times before. It was normally picked into Morgana as a counter pick because you could just push lane 24/7 and Morgana could never really respond. Now it's against the Janna.
Exactly, and we were wondering, is he going to go back to the Sona, because it has not worked out for them at all. And N-Rated has a weird champion pool for supports.
Yes.
Almost, pretty much every single support at Worlds right now plays all of the normal ones, Nami and Thresh and things like that, but that's not really in N-Rated's wheelhouse. This Kayle, though, is a specialty that's even been banned out against them.
And he has a 100% record on Kayle support as well. 3 games so far this split and in the playoffs, and won every single one of them. We'll also see Candy Panda taking that Kog'Maw, which is his most played champion. But we are going to be seeing Uzi on Vayne.
So I do wonder now if Royal Club actually is looking to lane swap, because Kayle in the laning phase against a support who can sustain is actually fairly strong, because you do have a lot of damage in a potential trade here. And the Vayne pick is normally not considered very strong in the laning phase, so I wonder if Royal Club wants to lane swap, even though they have the Aurelia pick.
Exactly, that brings up a really good question. That's why Royal Club going with this Vayne pick is very nice for them, because he can get strong in the late game as well and take down a Maokai. If Maokai, their teleporter, is ever split pushing like Freddy likes to do, Vayne is very good at hunting him down.
So I'm going to pose a question here, because we heard an interview that was released with SK Gaming where they said they've been practicing heavy on lane swaps and that they want to run these lane swaps. Have Royal Club seen that and said, okay, they're going to lane swap, we can take a Vayne, that's safe?
Maybe. I mean, it could definitely be an option, especially because, well, we don't know actually if they have played against a Kayle support before, but Kayle is fairly strong in the lane, as we just talked about before, against non-sustain champions. So they might just see the Kayle pick and instantly say, okay, let's lane swap it. And of course the Maokai pick, as you talked about, Vayne is going to be so good in this one-on-one split pushing, and it simply means Freddy won't be able to stand toe-to-toe with him.
Also, SK could go with a sort of lighter lane swap and just swap him back after Kog'Maw is level 6.
So as this match starts, then we'd like you to turn to Twitter once again and tell us which one of the featured top laners will help take their team to a win. Use the hashtag SKWin or SHRWin and tweet your answers to @LOL Esports, and we'll figure that one out in a while. Cola on this Aurelia. Dangerous champion for SK Gaming. Maokai going to Freddy, who we've said it before has been the shining light for SK Gaming so far. We also have to look towards Svensson, back into the team after that 3-game suspension. We'll see if he can help SK Gaming rescue their world's attempt here as we move into game for SK Gaming versus Starhorn Royal Club.
And Svensson getting Lee Sin here is actually not a pick I would expect him to take in a normal game. It's purely because he's against the Rengar and against Insect here, so he wants to be very aggressive early on. He's actually preferred to play like Kha'Zix and be very counter jungle focused and very farm focused, and then be strong in team fights instead, if you look back at the playoffs for SK Gaming.
Yeah, we'll have to see how well he makes use of the early Sightstone, how early he does end up completing it, because we saw how TSM handled Clear Love's Rengar extraordinarily well with those extremely deep wards to see him.
Wins, right? Win still up. TPA, TSM, yes, right. And that was beautiful. The way they did it with the deep wards in.
Right.
The funny part is, Svenskeren can be the guy to walk into the jungle now of Royal Club, place the deep wards, and even battle Insect one-on-one as long as he actually gets the jump from Lee Sin and it's before level 6.
That is extremely dangerous, especially against a team like Royal Club that collapses very quickly. So he's definitely going to have to keep track of the laners, and your laners have to shove up for you to be able to invade like that. You cannot do jungle invades by yourself. It's very much a team-oriented activity. So that's definitely up to the laners of SK, whether he can go with that style or not.
Yeah, this Orianna pick here from Royal Club is going to be so annoying for SK Gaming. First of all, we would expect Jessis to pick it, especially if they want to have Lee Sin for Svenskeren, and then Jessis could have the pressure in the mid lane, push it into tower, and open up for Svenskeren to actually invade onto Insect here. He won't be able to do it on Ahri against Orianna. Gorn should be able to hold his own and also keep the wave fairly safe in the mid lane, or even push it into the tower of SK Gaming.
Well, our lane swap question has been answered after seeing the Vayne and Janna locked in. Candy Panda and N-Rated decide to take them heads up. This is not the first time in even this tournament that we've seen the Vayne Janna lane though. Samsung White also running that into the 2 versus 2 lane.
And Uzi is playing it so aggressively as well, done so much damage already to Candy Panda and Enrated, both of them down to half HP. We'll see how this lane all starts to develop here. We've of course seen that SK Gaming were relying mostly on that bottom lane with Gilius in the jungle to really get them off to a good start. They've not really found that form, and they have to perform in this lane matchup.
Yeah, again, the Vayne pick from Uzi might be explained by the fact that Royal Club, they don't respect the SK bottom lane. They know they can take this lane and do just fine in 2v2. And I actually do wonder if Zero is running 80 runes on his Janna like we've seen him do before, where basically he puts a lot of focus on just auto-attacking here early on, and we've just seen it, how both him and Uzi have been poking Candy Panda and N-Rated.
Yeah, exactly. Uzi exchanging with N-Rated, and 1 vs 1 heads up. Zero was exchanging blow for blow with Candy Panda. Zero also the guy, I believe, that ran 1 crit move.
Yes,
for
1 crit
support.
Just in case.
On Janna. I do wonder how much damage you will actually do with it, but let's see if he can get a crit in the lane. And this Kayle picker from N-Rated, I mean, he's the only guy who plays Kayle support. And my only problem is, you don't actually disengage with Kayle. Yes, you can save a target if Insect jumps onto a single target, but you can't really disengage like a Janna.
Now, because we're focusing so much on this bottom lane, I want to bring up that point that Doublelift brought up on the desk. Uzi and Zero are always shoving, and this is so early in the game. You know that they only can rely on trinket wards. So this is a Lee Sin, and there are so many ways you can gank a red side bottom lane. You can go through the river, hug the other side, but he's not headed down there.
Oh my god, Enrated caught out here.
They're gonna kill him.
Survive through that one. Are they gonna be able to kill off Uzi? Not quite there. 2 of them going super low in these early stages.
But look here on the minimap, Svenskeren, he could have been down towards this bottom lane, instead going into the jungle here. He wants to find Insect. This is what we talked about. Svenskeren loves to invade onto the enemy jungle here. Both his lanes are actually pushing fairly decently up here, so he could go in. Didn't actually manage to get a fight though.
But somebody needs to go down to this bottom lane. This is where all the excitement is. Both junglers just met in the top side jungle. That means both bottom lanes know that they can continue to exchange blow for blow.
Need to be so careful there though. We have Uzi who has no summoners left. There is a flash still for Zero. And Insect is going to be moving through the SK Gaming jungle. Can he get down to that bottom lane? Does he want to get down to the bottom lane? He stopped off to actually do the Wraith camp, which Svenskeren actually stole away from his jungle. Candy Panda here is much healthier at this stage.
The thing is about ganking this bottom lane for Royal Club is that if they ever stop pushing and stop playing aggressively, then SK have to know something's up. If Uzi changes his playstyle, you know there's got to be a gank there. That's one of the drawbacks of always playing the same way. It gives a tell away very easily if you have jungler support.
Leaves us with pretty much tied gold count, and if you look at the CS, top lane bang even, mid lane bang even as well. There was a bit of harassment down from Korn towards Jesus. A similar thing will be happening as well up on this top side of the map, but for now that's even. The AD carries are both level. If we look at Candy Panther, he's actually gone back to base there, picked up a second Doran's Blade and a longsword. It'll be a Vamp Scepter though for Uzi, so going to have that sustain in the lane.
And now we saw TSM against TPA yesterday. They showed how to ward against the Rengar, avoid all the engages here, and made it very hard for Win to do anything. SK Gaming is the team in Europe who buys the least amount of wards, and that can hurt them a lot against a team like Royal Club, against Insect on Rengar here, because if they don't ward properly, I'm just going to say it now so we can come back to it later, because it will become relevant.
Oh.
They will get punished.
The Hunter is being hunted right now. Even Svenskeren only level 4, trying to track Insect up the river just to buy Freddy some time up there. Leave that top lane undisturbed, and then let them just continue to farm.
I feel like Svenskeren has done similar things to Insect in terms of, you know, over the course of the year being caught out maybe a couple too many times in the enemy jungle without wards, not really in the safest of positions. They've got to be safe. Of course, you have to take risks, I think, to win these big games, but being safe is a big part of it as well. As Enrater just left the lane to ward up there, and his AD carry took a little bit of damage. They're actually going to push Royal Club back here in lane.
But it was pretty obvious what the tactic was from SK Gaming early with the Lee Sin pick, because we did see Svenskeren forget about the bottom lane and actually invaded all of the onto Freddy. Let's see what he can do. Not a lot. So back to the point of Svenskeren. We did see him invade into the jungle, but he only did it once, because in this mid lane, Korn has been able to push it up all the time. So Jessis wouldn't be in a position to move from mid lane into the jungle and help Svenskeren. Royal Club would be able to collapse a lot faster, and therefore he was forced to just sit back and farm. So the Lee Sin pick so far, before level 6, where he was supposed to be so much stronger, has not been paying off for SK Gaming at all.
However, Insect just hit level 6, so we are at that all-important first gank for Rengar. Handing off blue here to Jesus. The all-important first gank for Rengar. He's out of potions right now, so it's not going to come too soon. He has to back first. And before he goes for that gank, we will see him prep it on the jungle camps, stack up his ferocity. The target would probably be bottom lane, which with how these lanes are exchanging. The other option would be top as well, because Freddy has been harassing Cola fairly often and getting Aurelia lower.
Yeah, and we have seen before when Royal Club is playing, Insect loves to go top lane when Cola plays Aurelia, because he can get the stun onto the enemy top laner, set up an easy gank for Insect. Down this bottom lane, because Uzi and Zero is constantly pushing it, it can be very hard for Insect to get close enough. It is always risky to dive under the tower, at least once Kale hits level 6 and you have the ulti here. But he's looking towards this bottom lane, level 6, and they do have a pink ward in the bush here, so you can sneak in.
Oh, here we go then. Ultimate
Oh,
from Insect. What can he do there? They are going in with the Howling Gale. They're going to go surely for Enrater. He's not level 6 yet, so no intervention there for him. This is going to be their first kill, and he goes over to Uzi.
So the first time SK Gaming is actually pushing the bottom lane, Insect is there, he goes in for the gank, and notice how he delays his second E until the flash comes in from Enrater. As soon as you flash, you throw the E, lock him down once more, and you can then kill him. And there was no level 6 on Enrater. That was the big deal.
And because there's so much discussion about Rengar and the difference between the good Rengars and the bad Rengars, I was looking at both Insect and Clear Love's take on Rengar, rune pages and mastery setting up before we came in here. Insect, he rune pages much more for the early game than Clearlove. Clearlove did scaling cooldown reduction blues, whereas Insect, he goes attack speed and some attack damage. As well, he only gets 6 armor penetration marks, whereas Clearlove went with 8 of them, which is also a little bit more early game oriented.
Right.
And that we just see constantly. Insect, his first gank almost always works out. He has that little bit of extra damage that comes from his rune page. Definitely always pays out.
And it really also shows just the difference in the two junglers in their playstyle. Clearlove is this like farm first jungler and then focus on team fighting, where Insect is this extremely aggressive jungler who wants to gank early on, who wants to snowball. Also why, again, Moby boots for him every single time on Rengar.
Moby boots, and he picked up the pink ward, so he's prepping the extra ganks here. Doesn't use the sweeper or the pink ward on the tri-bush. Backs off as he sees Svenskeren.
Sven moving in from this one was his plan. Oh, he's going around the back here. And look at that. Look at the pings here. They're pinging exactly where Svenskeren just went.
Insect just
reading him
recalled.
like a book.
Insect just recalled here. They can dive onto Cola.
The thing is, yeah, they saw him wrap around going towards the Baron pit. This ward is a very nice ward from Royal Club. But even if you know that he possibly went over that wall, Cola is still in a very dangerous situation. Insect didn't go back up top.
And could get that stunning if anyone goes underneath the tower onto him. Here comes Svenskeren from the side there onto the wall. Kicks him back out from tower end. They're going to get the kill. Oh! From it! There is Freddy coming in. The sapling is going to chase down Cola. But it's the Q from Svenskeren to pick up the kill.
Such a nice setup here by SK Gaming. Insect, he recalled as soon as he actually saw Svenskeren was around the top side. He decided to recall, go back to base, buy just a long sword and a green ward, and then it simply opened up for the dive here. Insect could definitely have stayed and just secure or help his top lane a little bit.
Yeah, they didn't respect the wall jump over the Baron pit. They even pinged it twice, so they knew that that was a possibility. Cola stays over though, and Insect doesn't return top. He returns bottom. They get some peak ward coverage. Down.
Oh, Jesus here, far up the lane. Insect gonna go in. He's got the ball on it. There is the combo, and Svenskeren goes down. Jesus will use his ulti here. Insect had to back away. The ignite came out of Jesus, but again, coming up big here. 2 ganks around there for Insect and doing so well with it. Meanwhile, Uzi pushing back on this bottom lane.
That was great pre-planning here actually from Insect and Royal Club, because what Insect did, he ran down to his Wraith camp from the base, and he actually only killed the big Wraith and one of the small ones, and he left the 2 other ones because he knew Svenskeren was on the top side of the jungle, and therefore he couldn't actually get the full Wraith camp. And then as soon as Insect just went down to the bottom side and saw Svenskeren in the middle lane, he knew he could just go straight for the kill. There was no ulti for Svenskeren either. Easy pickup.
Yeah, that was a preview of what Royal Club are going to have in answer to the Maokai team fighting. This is their wombo combo answer. They've got Insect plus Corn going to try and hit multiple high priority targets towards the mid game here when we do see the team fights.
And Royal Club, they might not even want to team fight at all, at least for the first 20-30 minutes, because they have a perfect setup here to do 1-3-1, where you have Irelia up in one lane, you have Uzi and Vayne in the other side lane, and then Korn just sitting in the mid lane as the wave clear. And it simply means Insect can then choose whatever lane he wants to, pop his ulti as long as there's no deep wards from SK Gaming, and just go and instantly kill the target who's one-on-one against either Cola or Uzi.
Oh, this is very deep. Svenskeren gonna flash in, kicks Insect back. Insect's gonna go down, but Cola's joined in the fight. Freddy will be tanking this one up with the ultimate running. Jesus trying to do damage off to the side. I think Cola's done for you. Freddy may also fall. There's the shockwave, comes off cooldown, and Jesus flashes over. It's like one more auto attack. He gets away with 10 HP.
There was no ulti for Justice during the fight here. It just came up in the very, very end, so he had to flash the wall and just try and escape.
And Gord was winning on his cooldown as well because they had just used it mid, so both mid laners were just waiting split seconds away. Uzi getting really close to this dead turret though.
Oh, this is bad, possibly for SK Gaming. Uzi coming through. Howling Gale catches the both of them. Zero trying to lock in. But here comes Cola from the bottom side. Candy Panda goes down, and Rated goes down. Royal Club get 2 back.
And we have seen this before from Royal Club. Cola is so good at teleporting down instantly as you see a fight in the bottom lane. Freddy had teleport, but he didn't want to use it. And as soon as Cola showed himself, easy cleanup, get 2 kills. They would probably have gotten them else or anyways, but now they can also pick up a dragon.
This is that classic tower bait there. The last few hits, they know that they want to finish it off and get that local gold. All right, so this is the 3 versus 3 though. Very exciting to see. Svenskeren comes in, flashes over for the kickback, and they immediately focus down Insect. Good call there from SK to focus fire Rengar. He has a lot of offensive ability to create plays, but no defensive ability. He has no escape for himself. Top laner's going down 1 for 1 here too, and as we know, the magical escape.
And notice how the red buff actually means that Jesus couldn't try and charm onto Korn because the red buff was in his way, so the only option he had was actually flash the wall and just try and escape. If the red buff wasn't there, maybe, just maybe, he could have tried and turned it around. He was still very, very low and would have been a risky play.
Very, very dangerous game he was playing. Blue buffs handed over to both mid laners. That should definitely help out Jesus. He'll be able to go wave for wave here with the wave clear.
Let's have a look at the overall picture then. We've hit the 15-minute mark of this game, and it is a decent little lead for Royal Club. Not a massive one, and we'll see how that all changes as Zero just headed up towards top. They had vision of Svenskeren in that brush thanks to Korn's ward.
I also do like how Jesus has rushed for that Deathfire Grasp. He's not even thinking about going for the Athenes. Here it is!
Oh, there's the shockwave coming in. Gonna pull Jesus down. Here comes Zero as well. Flashes in with a Howling Gale.
But
and
why?
Korn picks up the kill.
Are they going to collapse here? Freddy's looking for a tower dive.
Coming in from the back. Korn's at less than half HP. Svenskeren's gonna land the Q. Follows through. There's the
Nice
ultimate
one,
coming
too.
out. Zero gonna knock them straight back out. Don't think Insect will follow up. Actually, he is. He's gonna go in there. There's no shockwave though. And Cola has also
Uzi's
joined
here.
in. Uzi's coming around the side. Will they go under the turret? No, they won't. Not yet, at least.
Zero is such a beast. He comes in to save Korn there for the kill, and then he's able to reset under the turret. Beautiful Janna play. We've seen so many good Jannas.
But we have to question Jesse's play in the mid lane here. One-on-one, he just dives straight onto Cornier. Look at the minimap as well. There's no wards from SK Gaming around this mid lane. He had no idea who was waiting around, and he just went straight for the one-on-one between the minions as well. Didn't have enough damage. Zero joined in very fast, managed to get the kill, and then even though SK Gaming tried to dive, completely denied as well by Zero. So greedy play with the DFG from Jesus.
Yeah, he really wanted to use it. His team was on the way too. Like, they were on the
Still
way
so
roaming.
risky. I mean, you have no wards on the side, and Zero was actually around the mid lane at the time and just instantly joined in. Completely backfired.
Look at the preparation here for the Uzi split push as well. That bottom side of SK's jungle has a ring of wards in it. And Uzi then just going to have the free time to push as far as he wants down that bottom side of the map. Jezison and Enrated were trying to push the middle tower there, but well, Zero and Insect coming across. And that will leave us then 17 minutes into this game with 3,000 gold the lead. For Starhorn Royal.
That ward
Here
got
comes
fed up.
Jesus might be in trouble. Dives on top. The shockwave doesn't land though. Jesus had already got out of there.
Two ultis gone here from Royal Club, but there's still 4 members in this mid lane pushing it. SK Gaming are very slow to react.
Yeah, they need to disperse here.
No one around really. Jesus
That's just a
trying
free
to max
tower.
range. That is a free tower. Going over to Royal Club, their second of the game to tie us up in turret kills.
And again, with all the wards around this mid lane here from Royal Club, they can go for these risky, aggressive ganks onto someone like Jesus deep inside the SK Gaming jungle, and they know nobody's near, nobody can help him, and instantly just go to mid lane because they had already pushed up the bottom lane and Freddy was farming the top lane.
You mentioned very early on the ward coverage of the
I
SK,
knew it was
and you
gonna be
wanted to call back
important.
to it. Pretty much the entire map littered with Royal Club wards, whereas SK, very, very dark there. But yes, this is the perfect time for Royal Club to start forcing that issue. Start pushing this in because they've got the Trinity Force Aurelia.
Those here.
Uh-oh.
He is way out of position. Started to do the recall there. He's actually going to go aggressive onto Candy Panda with that blade. Knocks him against the wall. There's the kickback, the intervention. Uzi's going down, and it's Candy Panda that gets
He
it.
tried to get the cannon minion before he died there for a little bit actually go. Almost. Yeah, I wanted to get something out of it.
But funny enough here, SK Gaming actually managed to get a kill. There's just no dragon for them to take, there's no tower for them to take, so that yes, you do get a kill on Uzi, you delay his farm a little bit, but that's about it. Because dragon's going to be up in 1 minute. If they can do it again in 1 minute, they will be able to get the dragon and almost even out the gold.
See Freddy having his lane pushed against him. He's ahead though in CS and has that Rod of Ages already in. DFG for Jesus, that's maybe what gave him that confidence in the mid lane to fight Korn,
sure.
where he ended up dying.
And then of course, because the team was like calling, we're coming mid lane, but it was just too early and it was too aggressive. I do have to give credit to SK Gaming for adapting to the Royal Club playstyle. We saw it yesterday as well. I mean, suddenly SK Gaming are running around the map, finding picks left and right. They used to be a team who would play on the other team's mistake and be like very passive at first and just slowly gain their lead and just wait for the enemy team to overextend and then kill them. You can't do that against Royal Club because they will constantly just find you in these small picks here and small skirmishes. And that's where it's great SK Gaming is adapting to it. Now they just need to buy a lot more wards so they can do what TSM did to TPA yesterday and the Rengar pick.
So what they have done so far is actually ward up this bottom side of the map. Not only did they kill Uzi, but they also have more vision there now. So they should probably be swayed that 1-3-1 that you're mentioning as a possibility. It would be very dangerous for Royal Club to go back to that. Maybe you see them work again with the Rengar Ori Shockwave.
So this is very nice. You just talked about how the warding or the vision control was in favor of SK Gaming at the Dragon. It actually meant that Royal Club sent 4 members down. They got it now. It actually meant Royal Club sent 4 members down to the river to place some wards and clear some wards, and then SK Gaming just walked straight into mid lane and took the tower.
Here we go then. Royal Club moving in towards the Dragon.
Freddy walking down. Oh, he teleports in. They're going for it.
He's coming in on the back as well. They're pinging on top of that. He's all alone. Out Zero. He flashes at Spencer and then kicks him the wrong way. And Freddy will be focused down here. I think there's the last second intervention. Monsoon comes out. Zero. They're all very low here at Royal Club, but they're going to try and turn it around. And Rayen will be the first one. Shockwave comes down, catches both of them, and that is going to be a 2-0. The Dragon will follow.
What a spread out. But whoa, they're not going for Dragon. They're headed up towards Baron, Joe. They just killed 2 people. The jungler's still up. That would be a miracle steal if Sven's Garrett's able to do anything here.
There is a blade on Uzi. He needs to join his team in. They have a lot of single target damage here already as well. Trinity Force is completed. It's all about Svenskar now. Can he actually steal it?
He's got to be the hero here for SK Gaming. He has to get in there for the steal. That Baron already surely very low at this stage. Cola has gone low and the Baron goes over to Royal Club. Svenskar completely kept away there by Zero, and he's now having to try and run away. Candy Panda's there as well. Cola's going to get in. He's on low HP so he can get the stun and then picks up the kill.
And suddenly, Royal Club, they just destroy SK Gaming. I mean, the teleport from Freddy actually meant he was all alone against 2 people.
And you can tell the decisiveness from Royal Club. This is one of the points where it's the ping from Insect. He says, go, everybody instantly. Go. They get the Baron, they get the 2 kills, and they get the Dragon. They collected everything on the map.
Oh, Uzi trying to get in there. Cola will join in. Oh, there is the shockwave. It's Freddy that they catch. He will twist and advance in, but they lock him up and pick up another one. The 11th kill of the game, the 4th for Cola.
Insect's not done.
Yeah, he's not done yet. He's got that ultimate running. Not going to quite get in there onto Jezza.
It's just so impressive. A team that, you know, sometimes has to use 3 languages to communicate plays so decisively. There's so much, the instincts of these guys is so impressive.
Everyone just has to be on the same page, and everyone needs to know exactly how strong they are and when they can actually take the fight.
You know, we watched that video too, the intro video from Royal Club, and they talked about the different ways they work on building teamwork with the team. And they try all kinds of other activities outside of the game just to get used to each other and how they think.
Well, you saw it on the minimap, the way that they were pinging coming into that fight. Let's have a look at it again, though.
Right, so teleport behind here from Freddy. So he's actually 1v2 against Uzi and Insect. And remember, Vayne has the true damage onto him. The rest of SK Gaming, they can't join in time. Like, so Freddy's taken really low. Ult from Enrated is used. And this is where, again, the KO support. It is great for this one target you can save, but you can never really fully disengage a fight like a Janna can do. And Korn just standing at the pink ward in the bush here, and beautiful ulti.
It was simply Royal Club outplaying SK in the spread out team fight. They made the mid-fight adjustment. As soon as they saw the teleport come in, Insect flips right back around. They know they've got Freddy isolated. The power of Maokai is all about the aura with the rest of your team and doing the tanking. They take him out before it even starts. They burn the KO ultimate. They have everything off of it.
That's pretty much the best part, because it wasn't actually a team fight. It suddenly turned into like a 1v2, 2v2, so small skirmish where Royal Club are so strong. I mean, you have the Vayne pick, you have the Rengar pick as well. And in the end, SK Gaming tried to escape, just couldn't get away from Korn, and his beautiful Orianna ultis. There's been quite a few this game.
And you have to say, Freddy maybe feeling, you know, from his Mundo play in those last 3 games where you might be able to get away with something like that to join the rest of your team. Doesn't work out for it, and Royal Club are already pressuring towards those inner towers. Got 3 down on the outer layer, and it's just going to be about strangling SK Gaming out of this one now.
Man, that last team fight, it really did show how both of these teams thinking the same thing, though. They both wanted to initiate that team fight. That's why it was so disjointed, and they had 2 points of engagement.
So I want to hear Krepo's opinion on this, but I'm looking at the item build from Enrated, and he decided to actually get the Frostfang, or just fully upgraded, which I don't really understand, because I feel like trying to rush towards the Mikhails would be so much better, especially against like a Rengar. Because when he engages in, he's going to land a snare. You can Mikhail instantly, and you can actually try and disengage. Where the Frostfang, it becomes a lot harder, especially also because there's so many mobile targets on Royal Club, which are going to be hard to hit. But if you do manage to land it, I guess you will apply the slow here. But I want to hear from Krepo what he's going to say.
Having a Mikhails, I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Shockwave thrown down there by Korn, and might have not even been thinking that he could get that kill. He's got Candy Panda low and will force him to go back to base. And once his next minion wave comes through, they may fancy it. They've also sent Cola down bottom. His TP will be back up here shortly. So the split push is going to be in full action. And now that minion wave does come through. Uzi going to step forward, does get a few hits off. SK retreat from that completely.
Yeah, they definitely have to back off. And Royal Club can wait once again for the ultimate cooldown here from Insect. The thing about, even if you do rush a Mikhail's, it's always nice to have that on our team, and Krepo's definitely pro Mikhail's. But if Rengar jumps in with the Orianna ball on him and the shockwave goes off, you're still going to get sucked in.
Of course, yeah. But, I mean, it's also more just for the picks itself.
Yeah.
Like, if Rengar jumps in, you can try and use it to disengage. I just feel like Mikhail's would, in pretty much every situation, be better than fully upgrading into the Frost Greens.
Yeah. The little ice blast there.
I'm glad we agree.
We'll see how the little ice blast turns a team fight. You never know. That could be the difference between life and death.
Still, these items, it's new for me, man. When I played support, it was a lot simpler.
Is that why you ended up quitting?
Because it got too complicated. It got too complicated.
I was looking at the patch notes. I'm like,
nope.
Do we actually have to buy items now? Like, hell no.
Time to become a coach.
Well, you could go Zero's route here. You know, he doesn't have quite the actives. He just upgraded as well, but he's gone once again with the Janna special, the Medjais. I do always like the Jannas that pick up Captain's Boots as well, just because it helps so much in these team fights. This team for Royal Club thrives on move speed. So any extra source of move speed that Zero can add to his team helps out so much. We've already seen them chasing and even retreating, having to reposition mid-fight. This Captain Boots Janna just gives them such a big advantage.
And Cola here having to go Freddy down bottom. He's pretty decently tanky at this stage for him, so Cola really just pulling Freddy away from the rest of the team. Zero has just gone down bottom as well, but that middle inner turret is maybe what they want to go for. Actually, they've gone towards Korn, but Jesus miles away there with that charm. They did get him down to about half HP, but the follow-up just not there.
Insect actually popped his ult here, so it's going to be on cooldown, and Royal Club will keep just looking for this one pick. Maybe also Freddy.
Yeah, they're going to get the turret here. Uzi not bothered about the kills. He wants that tower to go down. There's the monsoon. Zero actually flashing away, will survive. There's a knock against the wall from Uzi. Intervention comes down. Here comes Korn. Where is the shockwave going to land? They take Freddy, and Raider just getting out of range there of the shockwave. They still have that available to them if Korn decides to pull the trigger.
Ooh, what another disjointed team fight right there. They started out by putting a whole bunch of damage into Freddy, and he can't be the reliable tank if they get that much of a time advantage down there. Dumping a whole bunch into him, it was very hard. Uzi had the confidence after that to get right up in his face.
I'm really just looking at this Orianna pick again from Champs League, where they early pick it, you take it away from SK Gaming. It destroyed the whole tactic early game with Svenskan on Lee Sin because they didn't have the pressure in mid lane for Svenskan to invade on Insect and try and kill him pre-6.
Yeah, the Ahri picks really haven't been working out for Jez's this tournament. I know it is something that he does really like and finds a comfortable pick.
Right.
But yeah, it definitely has not held up for them on the world stage.
At playoffs in their EULCS, Ahri was probably the best mid lane pick together with Orianna. I mean, Froggen and XPEC played it as well a lot, so I wonder if they're going to play it next week. We haven't seen it here in Taiwan really pay off.
And look at the difference in mid lane power here. That is tremendous. He's got all 3 completed main mid lane items here for Korn, plus he's got the extra flat spell penetration. So this Orianna, that shockwave is going to do a ridiculous amount of damage, whereas Jez's is sitting on the pieces of his death cap plus the Deathfire Grass.
Oh,
yeah,
Freddy
once
out
again.
a little bit in the jungle, and look at the minimap. Nobody is there to even remotely help him out. He's going to be getting slowed down here. Korn going to go in. Insect, of course, will be able to just snare him up. They actually use the shockwave. Takes a while, but you'll get him down. That leaves a 5v4 with Byron now on the map.
SK have to kill Cola here and just rush back to the Baron and try and do whatever. I mean, Svenska needs to steal it, get a kill down this bottom lane as well.
Level 16 Cola though, and Raiden's got to give him some space.
Ah, the Frost Queen. There it is.
Yeah, the Frost Queen. He's able to kite.
Oh, look at that.
Solo steal?
Trying to take out Zero, who actually stopped him, and look at Cola, he's still alive. Ulti used there at the back, they finally pull out. It's going to be Uzi that gets the kill. Cola survived through all of that, and Royal Club take Baron at the same time.
Right. That's about it then.
Hold on. Well, it's 30 minutes still. They can try and pull the long siege, I guess. Let's see here. For Royal Club, their siege actually with Orianna is okay. It's very dangerous for Uzi to get up there. But really, it's just going to be the split push for them to end it. Exactly. They don't even have to stand up 5v5 here. So, as we've seen, it's very hard for them to deal with Cola right now. He's been just such a beast all game long. If he goes down the split push, he draws way more attention from SK, and they'll probably find a way into the base here. 4-1.
Right, so
let's watch that run around, by the way. How exactly does this work?
3 members here. Svensson is sent alone to try and kill it. Sloper and raided. And still running on the other side. Jessis actually jumps 2 Jessis and starts just kiting away.
Candy Panda out of position, and it's the ultimate use. It's going to get the kill though, and it's not going to be enough damage there on the passive to get the kill. So Candy Panda is down. What are Royal Club going to do with this one? They've got Uzi and Korn coming down the mid lane. They'll be joined by another 2. They'll send Insect towards the top lane to actually start defending here as a Howling Gale comes through towards Freddy. That is a big chunk of damage coming out from Korn, and I think that's going to be enough for the tower. It's going to be Cola that's tanking that one up, and they do manage to finish it off.
And look at the bottom lane here. It's already pushing in. Insect pushed the top wave as well, so every single lane pushing into the base of SK Gaming. Will Royal Club try and dive here? They have no ulti on Insect, so they need to wait for it.
Or it could just be a well-placed Shockwave here. We've seen how much damage that Shockwave can do. He can place it on Cola. Cola's got a reliable dash. They don't have to wait for Insect.
Just going to switch down towards that bottom lane after mid is cleared out here by SK Gaming. Candy Panda, of course, spawning back in after being caught out on that top side. And look at Uzi. Basically has Cola in front of him to offer that protection in case they come his way. And we'll just get the free auto attacks off, and the turret loses half HP.
Royal Club has just been in control pretty much the entire game long, to be honest. Bot lane wise, SK Gaming actually did pretty well. They were winning on farm, they almost killed the bot lane tower, but then the gank came in from Insect, and then the second TP, the TP came in from Cola, and suddenly there was too many kills on the side of Royal Club. And then it's just been all about this mid lane and all the fights around the mid lane and the lack of wards from SK Gaming. When you play Ahri, you need a lot of wards, and here's Shockwave.
Oh, onto Enrated there is Svensson diving in, they're going for Cola. Svensson will fall from this one as Insect now joins as well. Actually, Svensson got the intervention. Jevus jumps on. Insect trying to beat them up at the back. The rest of the team comes through. Uzi having to go at Candy Panda, and that will be another one. That means 3 men down. Sorry, 4 men, of course, for SK. And surely this is going to be the game now for Royal Club.
I don't know how many times we're going to see teams continue to give Insect Rengar after this. He's been so good with all of his ganks. Every team thinks, oh, we've seen so many of these Rengars fail. All you have to do is deep ward and work around these ganks. But he always finds a way to get in.
It was pretty clear it was their idea or tactic from SK Gaming to pick Kayle as this counter to the Rengar.
Right, but that's the support Kayle. He's not going to have his ult for a long time.
No, it just wasn't enough.
Nexus turrets are going to be taken out here, and Rated still the last man left alive. Couple of spawns coming in, but it won't matter. Starhorn Royal Club basically end the dream here for SK Gaming. Svensson coming back into the team, just not enough. And Royal Club showing once again that they're just such a classy act.
So SK Gaming, they came in, they had their tactic planned. We want to try and punish the Rengar pick early with the Lee Sin. That's why they left both the junglers open. At the same time, we have this Kayle support, so whenever or whatever target Insect will jump, we can Kayle ult and we can avoid all the damage and then try and turn it around. And then Orianna happened from Royal Club. Also just making the team fights from Royal Club suddenly stronger than the SK ones.
Also, it was really just the split-second decisions in the team fights that Royal Club were able to come out on top of them. I mean, turning around when the teleport came, you know, so many good reactions from there. And I have to say, Korn and Cola on champions they're so comfortable with. Insect goes without saying that he likes Rengar. Uzi on the famous Vayne. We pretty much got to see the all-star lineup here from Royal Club, and they definitely deserve to be at the top of this group.
It is pretty funny to see how, as you mentioned earlier, Joe, why do teams keep giving Rengar to Insect here? And what we have actually seen in LPL in the playoffs is some teams, they decide to ban both Lee Sin and the Rengar, or at least pick one of them with the first pick, and then force him on to, like, a Jarvan or Kha'Zix. And he doesn't have the same impact. So I wonder if we're going to see it leading into the quarterfinals, where teams will try to like target Insect, because he's basically just dominating on Rengar, and then his Lee Sin performance yesterday wasn't as strong, but we have seen him carry on Lee Sin before.
Yeah, I think there are so many questions when you look at this entire Royal